Hey guys, Lexi here. This is an episode in my real life series where I give you all a glimpse into my life, real time, what is going on with me. I like to kind of break that stigma that healers, intuitive channels, spiritual teachers have it all together and our lives just look perfect all the time. Not true. We are all human, we are all having the human experience, and we still go through a lot of the same emotions and struggles most of you do. Yeah, we've worked through a lot of our stuff, and we do know how to shift perspective. So in this series, I'd like to walk you through something I've struggled with or am going through and show you how I shift my perspective around it to find the relief in whatever it might be. So today's topic has to do with looking behind physical symptoms and really discovering the ways that these symptoms are actually benefiting you and actually helping you in your life. So for me, something I've been going through the past, I would say about 8 months, off and on, is I have been having symptoms of what seem like panic attacks. I will wake up in the middle of the night, I will feel like I'm out of breath, heart racing. If I'm standing, I'll feel like I'm gonna faint, that draining feeling, really panicky feelings. However, I can never identify any thoughts. I'm not really a worrier anymore or a panicky person. There doesn't seem to be any cause behind them. So I kind of was just moving through this when it first started happening 8 months ago, not really sure what was going on. Went to the doctors, they told me everything was fine, everything looked good. But when it came on again 4 months after the first episode, I decided to go to the doctors again and have my labs done. And even though the doctor said I was fine, it showed that my iron was extremely low. Wasn't quite considered anemic, but it was too low for me. And I came to realize through my functional nutrition training that the iron and the ratios and my ferritin, the way it was all working together wasn't meeting my needs and my demands for my body. So instead of feeling just tired and weak like when I had anemia a long time ago, it's actually mimicking panic attack symptoms. So I was really excited to find this out. This was pretty cool because now I have like a tangible cause, and I don't always have a tangible cause, right? However, again, I don't believe everything just happens because. I always believe that there is a deeper meaning. Everything in our lives is set up to help us. So while this was going on, and even before I discovered what physically was behind it, I had to really walk myself through these symptoms and ask myself, how is this helping me? Because when you ask yourself, why is this happening to me, that really almost never helps. It really keeps us in this victim mode. It makes it hard for us to open up to the possibilities of receiving the messages and the help that we want. So it's happening again right now. This is probably 8 months from the first time it's happened. Seems like every 3 or 4 months or so, this keeps happening or reoccurring. And now I have an even different awareness of it. Even though I know it's low iron, I have a different awareness of it and how this is helping me that I want to share with you all. Because this is what I truly feel is a big part of what's at the root of it. As many of you know, I started really dedicating myself to my channeling work about a month ago. This is something that's always really made me a bit nervous to be public with. It's a very vulnerable thing when you have other energies in spirit speak through you and bring messages and not have conscious control of the words or what's going to be said and delivered, or what I look like when my eyes are closed. That was always a little self-conscious for me, some performance anxiety, right? So this is something I've been intending to be able to surrender to more deeply and more often. And last night when I had one of these panic attack symptoms come on, I took my iron, of course. Again, I know it's low iron, but that's okay because this keeps happening anyway. I decided to just go with it. And what I realized is as these symptoms are happening and you feel like you're about to pass out, your heart feels like it's racing, you have no control over your body when a panic attack happens, I allowed myself this time to surrender to it and go into it instead of resisting it. And what I discovered, a really big way that this is helping me, with what I want in my life today, which pertains to my channeling work, is I was able to kind of separate my conscious mind from what was going on in my body. Again, I didn't have any thoughts that were triggering these panic attack-like symptoms. It wasn't like I was worrying or my thoughts were running away in my mind, which is what you would think would be behind all panic attack-like symptoms, but I wasn't having those. So instead, I was able to feel my body doing what it was doing, but separate my consciousness kind of away from it and allow it to just happen. And it was a really neat experience. Scary, yes. It's always a bit scary, especially when your body feels like it's doing something you have no control over. But it was a neat experience because it really allowed me to see just how surrender can happen really beautifully and fully. And you can still be okay. You can still have a sense of who you are in your own awareness, still be you, and know that you're not your body. I hope I'm explaining this in the way I think I am. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments below if this is confusing at all. But a lot of us identify with our bodies. We identify with what's going on in our bodies and our illnesses, and we are not our bodies. So our bodies can be having symptoms and doing things. Yes, I believe that's how the soul communicates to us, is through these symptoms and things, and we can listen to the messages, but we're not our bodies. We're so much more than our bodies. So it helped me be more comfortable in surrender and allow my body to do what it was doing. And I realized in my channeling work, that's the area where I struggle the most, is surrendering completely to the energies, to the higher consciousness that wants to speak through me. I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable with it enough, but there is this point where, like I said, you have to surrender when you channel, and you're not really sure what words are going to come out of your mouth. You're not sure what the message is going to be, how it's going to be received, and if somebody is going to tie this to you as a person. Even though the message didn't come from my own mind, my own beliefs, it came directly through me from a higher source or energy expansion. So that's the way I looked at these symptoms, because it's so easy to say, I'm the victim. This keeps happening over and over again, right? I thought, I know it was related to iron, but I've been taking the iron and, I reduced my doses, and yes, this happened again. And it would be so easy for me to say, oh man, I failed again. I'm still having these symptoms. What is going on? Why is this happening to me? So easy to do that. Nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, everyone does that at first, but at some point you do want to move on and ask yourself, okay, how is this helping me? Really, how is this helping me? What is the best thing that is coming out of this that feels better to me to think about? Doesn't feel better to me to go into that, oh my God, I could have a panic attack at any moment and never know if I'll be okay or not. No, it feels better to think of, oh, this is really cool. This is what happens when I surrender to it. This is what happens when I'm present to it. And this can help me in this area of my life. So that's just a change in perspective. That's something I'm going through right now, even though it's a little bit scary and I have to be even more vulnerable with it. It's still pretty cool, because it really, really shows me this ultimate experience of I am not my body. I can be in my body, I can use my body, I can love my body, I can receive messages through my body, but I am so much more. And when you surrender and let go to what is, you get to experience that expansion and sometimes have the awareness of how this is really helping you on a different level. So I wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope you guys are all having a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.